This episode of the Course Grind podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
Brian Duffy, you guys know me. I'm that chef guy that everybody says, hey, don't I know you from somewhere? And I am super stoked to be with Sean Rossler on the Course Grind podcast.
Gentlemen, welcome back. Episode number 186 of the Course Grind podcast. Holy shit, I can't count this high. With you as always this evening, host creator Sean Rossler. How is everyone doing this evening? If memory serves me, every once in a while, I get to do something way different than we typically do. No, I'm not talking about a live show, but definitely something as special, honestly, if not more special, to me. See, way back when, it was undergrad, but still, I was introduced to a show that would take my existing love of all things culinary from the mornings of WVIA and PBS to Food Network's early days, hi David Rosengarten, and take me even deeper into the bowels of Epicurean obsession. It would be a life changer, and it would introduce me to some of the greatest TV I've ever seen, and people I'd ever know. I am talking, of course, about Iron Chef Japan. Now, slow down. I can hear some of you scratching your collective domes and misunderstanding already. Isn't it just Iron Chef? Isn't Alton Brown the announcer? Isn't Michael Simon? Shut up. Just shut up. No, Iron Chef didn't start on Food Network. No, it didn't start with Todd English, and what a flaming turd that incarnation was. No, there are not more than 7 goddamn Iron Chefs. There are 7, they're all Japanese, and they're from a show that we're here to discuss tonight that originated on Fuji TV. And now, thanks to the fine folks at Pluto TV, you can stream 24/7, because why not, for your culinary knowledge and benefit. In the early days, my college roommate and I would binge, watch, and play drinking games to it. He's here tonight. Then I became, for a small bit, the #1 fan of the world on the unofficial fan board, meeting awesome people along the way. One of them is here tonight. So without any further ado, I invoke the words of Takeshi Kaga, Ale Cuisine, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, 2 amigos and fellow Iron Chef Japan fanatics, Fred Finkenbinder and Bill Puff Kokolis. Gentlemen, how the hell are we?
I'm doing all right tonight. Glad to be here myself.
Excellent, excellent. That's Fred for everybody. That's Fred's voice. Now, Bill, how are you, sir?
I am just peachy. I mean, it's always great to reminisce about one of the best TV shows ever made.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And again, I want to give massive props. Like, when I post this, listen, I'm not kidding. I want to get the attention of Pluto TV because, 1, I think your app's amazing. 2, what a wonderful thing. First of all, you had me at MST3K. I know, Fred, that's not your cup of candle wax, but I know, Bill, you and I go back on this. But then to do this with Iron Chef Japan, like, it is honestly such a service to people who think they know what Iron Chef is. Alex Guarnaschelli is not one of them, spoiler alert. So with that said, with that in mind, gentlemen, I want to kind of do a little bit of backdrop on the both of you, kind of get a feel, and then I want to dive right in. So folks listening, you know, if you're here for the Iron Chef stuff, just give a listen a little bit, because you're going to find that, like, we're 3 really different people. Folks who are listeners know me. I want you to, you know, kind of learn who these folks are, but you're going to find why this show kind of binds people together so much. And I've been giving it a lot of thought since we teed this up in the magic of Facebook Messenger, boys. So, I'm going to kick it over to Fred first, because Fred's a little more unfamiliar to me. You know, Bill, you and I shared a living space, shared drinking stories, and, you know, whatever. So I'm going to start in Fred's aisle here. Fred and I met each other on Iron Fans Online, IFO. And, God, that's got to be 20 plus years ago. So Fred Finkenbinder, who are you? Where do you come from? And what do you do presently?
Well, presently, you know, I work in healthcare myself, but outside of Baltimore, Maryland.
Nice.
I much like yourself. Sorry, giving away. I'm in my mid 40s. We don't know how I came to watch the show.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of like even extra special to me because I came to find Iron Chef, which we should clarify was originally known as, I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly, Ryori no Tetsujin in Japanese,
Yep.
also known as Iron Man of Cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And to all the Iron Chef America fans out there who probably don't know, that's where it all began.
Yep.
It was extra special to me for a couple of reasons. It gives me memories of when I first met my wife-to-be.
There you go.
And when we first started living together, I didn't have cable TV growing up.
Nice.
So,
right.
I come across the wonderful Food Network, which is kind of like the dream channel for a guy who used to tune in to Channel 22 and try and fix his antenna locally to watch The French Chef or We're Cooking Now or some of those old shows. And coincidentally, I came in there two people right off the bat, one of which was Anthony Bourdain, whose show coincidentally was right before Iron Chef at the time on Food Network, his breakthrough show. No, not the ones we know better. It was called A Cook's Tour.
Yep.
And that came on right before that. And then I was watching that, fell in love with that, and then immediately after there was this weird thing, and the backdraft music came on, and all these weird characters started rising from pedestals, and I'm like, what in God's name do we have here?
Yep.
And I kind of started a little late in the game, a couple years after it started debuting on Food Network, so I didn't know anything about order or anything like that, so I started watching night to night, find out what nights it was on. It was absolutely fascinating, blending the whole food and culture and adventure and epic side in a way that I haven't seen done since. I'm sure we all can agree on that.
Yeah.
In any competition show.
Yep.
No,
it was for sure unique and definitely like a fresh take, and I think that's what pauses everybody in their tracks, like when they first come to it. And it's funny you mentioned that, Fred, because now, like, I'll toss it over to Bill because Bill is actually the one who introduced me to it. And this would have been 97, 98, Bill?
Yeah, this would have been 97.
97, 98. So, Bill Kokolis, let me kick it over to you. Who the hell are you? What the hell do you do? And, high level cliff note, what is Iron Chef to you?
Oh, man, what does it mean to know oneself?
Oh, boy, so God, let's not get that deep. Jesus.
No, I'm in IT. I started off in biology and life sciences, and after many years, I realized, hey, I want a job that actually has advancement potential. So I switched over to IT, and I've been doing that for the last 18, 19 years now. Been for a couple startups. I do my thing out of Richmond, Virginia these days. So how did I find Iron Chef? Well, growing up, my dad was big into cooking shows. We watched Jeff Smith, we watched Galloping Gourmet, we watched Julia Child, Justin Austin, all those great ones that used to be on PBS, and then Food Network happened. And I was just kind of channel surfing one night, and understand, I've always been a bit of an otaku, or if you want to go there, I've been a weeb. I'm not going to lie about it. Same here.
Dude,
same here.
All right. We're cracking the surface here, people. All right, go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
And
Fred and I are sitting here like, us too. Yay, me. Go ahead, buddy.
So I'm channel surfing, and I roll past Food Network, and there's Japanese on the screen, and I'm just, well, what? So I start watching it, and I don't remember who it was. For all I know, it might have actually been a Morimoto battle. Shout out to my man Morimoto.
Oh, yeah.
I was enthralled. I mean, here's this cooking competition. There's these guys making these crazy dishes using all sorts of ingredients I'd never even heard of before. I was hooked. So the college semester resumes, and get back, and I was like, guys, we got to meet up at the Fire Trap. Actually, no, this was
pre-F Trap. This was Montour Hall, man. This was Montour Hall, wasn't it?
Okay. I could have sworn it was at least first gen Fire Trap.
Might have been.
This was
okay.
before you moved in, but
yeah.
But it was still like me and Brian and a couple of the other guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like, guys, you've got to see this show. It is insane. It's food. It's Japanese. It's a game show
let's do it. So, we all just sit down and we start watching the show, and everyone's hooked. I mean, everyone's hooked.
Yeah.
Everyone in the room has their own personal favorite Iron Chef. We write out a drinking game because we're in college. Of course, we write out a drinking game.
Yeah.
And
I have heard tales of that drinking game.
Oh man, I will go on record and say that I won frequently, but Bill and I held pace together frequently too. So anyway, moving on.
there's a frightening level of tolerance.
You taught me about denaturing my stomach lining by taking a shot early on in the night and then drinking beers. I forget what that does to the uptake, but goddamn, it works. So there it was, this binding agent. So like Fred, you go, you find your wife. Bill, you find like your man wife and me, buddy. And we find this culture, and already, like, I'm hearing these underpinnings of, like, oh, shit, yeah, otaku, anime, Lodos, all these different, all these different ties that bind, and, so for me, I guess now entering year 9, I'm gonna say the food journalist. I'm not really, but, for lack of a better term, let's say that, like, I'm looking at this journalistically. When I was thinking about this, and I'm writing the crib notes for the show tonight, I'm like, I want to know now more about, like, early culinary influences, because, like, here's the other thing I hear, and this is when Greta's my wife, Fred, when she interviewed me, episode 20, this is episode 186, and, she asked me about the early upbringings, and anybody that ever interviews me, the, camera crew that was here to do a documentary on the show, my instant throwback is PBS, Justin Wilson, Jeff Smith, great chefs of the fill in the region. And already I've heard us all repeat that. We've repeated otaku, Japanese, culture fixation and so on. So now I want to go and see, like, how many similar threads we have. Puff, let me throw it over to you, buddy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to throw on something that you probably you want to bring up. The biggest thing about Iron Chef, I think, that appealed to me, was it introduced me to food that I've never even heard of before. Not only did I not know what flour was or what this thing was melting in the pan whenever he said that word.
Yep.
But all these different ingredients that they appreciate more as a culture over there that we've never even seen in the States, and that just, of course, piqued my little niche fancy even more.
Yeah.
And it just opens your eyes, and that's what it should do.
So that's so that's the exact point I want to tee up on here, because now I want to delve into, like, your background, because how people grew up, what you grew up eating. Like, Fred, you were at the Iron Chef Chen water filter event, right?
I was not.
You weren't?
I was privy to
shit.
What you posted about it and told me over it.
Shit, I'm sorry. But, like, at that event, they had shark fin soup. Where had I ever had it before, and where can you get it now, by the way? You can't. For the most part. I'm sure you can still get it somewhere. Yeah. But, like, it really draws you out of where you come from. So, like, for me, just to, like, here, I'll tee up real quick. I'm from this very small town in Northeast PA, Honesdale. We were meat, starch, and veg. Like, that was what we did. And I couldn't wait to get away from it, because I knew there was more out there because of PBS.
Amen.
And so, Puff, let me throw it over to you. Talk to me about, in Katanning, right? Right outside of Pittsburgh. What did you grow up eating when you were young? What kind of eater were you? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to say this from a place of love. Honestly, peasant food. My family was Greek and Slovakian and Jewish and Irish, and everything was just, and again, from a place of love, it was this simple, rustic peasant food, right? So we'd have halushki, we'd have cottage pie, we'd have kugel, we'd have meatloaf, we'd have steak and potatoes, just really, really simple but good, hearty food. Yeah. And you always knew there was more out there, right? Like, I think maybe senior prom, the girl I was going to the dance with ordered a shrimp cocktail, and, like, I knew that was a thing, but I'd never seen one before, and just like, oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah. Isn't it so funny how your geography governs your awareness. Fred, you're down in Maryland. Did you grow up there? If not, where'd you grow up? Talk to me about what you grew up eating.
Baltimore City, born and raised. On the playground is where I spent most of my days.
Careful, don't go hitting anybody. It's a Will Smith joke, kids. Tune in.
This is a professional show.
That's right. That's right. Unlike the Oscars, bitches.
Well, staying on track. Now, I grew up in Baltimore City, and I'm going to say your buddy Puff there, he did a lot better than me growing up because, while I loved it at the time, looking back on it, I ate a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We're talking like, now my parents would cook, mostly my mother at the time, when she was well. She recently passed away, rest in peace, but, that's all good. Thank you. But anyway, no, she would cook and more than half the stuff was decent, I remember pot spaghetti sauce was a legend. But growing up, we sometimes the fly, I came to appreciate TV dinners and all the box stuff and canned stuff. I still love Spam to this day, but that's beside the point. But that's the other thing. And especially why shows like Iron Chef opened my eyes to what was really out there. And then I wanted to start cooking on my own even before then. And then I just took it to another level where I really started looking stuff up and trying to improve my skills. Yeah. Again, an eye-opener,
Yeah. Oh, I mean, for sure. And it's funny, and I'm going to kind of like, I feel like I'm almost Quentin Tarantino here in Pulp Fiction, how I'm going to jump around timelines. But, like, remember the one where the chefs go to New York City and Michiba is in the American kitchen going through the refrigerator going like...
That's the New York special from late 99, yep.
Yeah. And so it's like, when I watched, I should say past tense that, you become profoundly aware of how limited our cuisine has been, whether it be, hey, granted, like peasant food is food of love. Even like, look, and this is not to judge, if you make dinners out of a box, guess what? I will always say you are making dinner for somebody, man. Like that's never going to be a thing. But here's the thing. It's when you can step back from that and realize like, damn, there's this whole other level of intricacy, of vibrant colors, of vibrant ingredients, peasant food, as we know here in the area, Bill, it's pierogi, halushki, all these things. It's varying shades of white and gray.
But even that's not American, though, right?
Correct.
Because
what define American?
I was going to say.
I know, right? That's it. Isn't that kind of the sticking point?
Americans do not have a cuisine. Barbecue's the closest thing I could think of.
Yeah, and that's
each other over that.
Yeah, I know, right?
There is some hardcore tension in what constitutes barbecue based on where you're from.
Dude, I mean, it's regional. It's almost Chinese cuisine, in that you have like, Sichuan, Hunan, all these different kinds. Like they're ready to cut a bitch if you put vinegar on your barbecue. Like they're not kidding. But let me just bring it back real quick.
North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Yes.
East and West North Carolina, huge difference.
So wait.
Be careful there, man.
Yeah. North Carolina, is that mustard?
One half is mustard.
One half is
vinegar.
Okay. Well, there you go. And mustard's half vinegar. So shut up. Stop being assholes.
Yeah. Well, what's your point?
By the way, congratulations, UNC. Well done. Screw Duke. Nothing on that? Okay, good. We don't have basketball players. Good. I'm sure I'm going to get shit talk back for that. Like, I was so glad to see Duke lose. All right. So we know where everyone's coming from culinarily. Let's talk about just awareness. So I think it's safe to say that for the three of us, and for many like us who like this show, who love this show, we kind of put the dots together and realized the food isn't just about insert into mouth, excrete out anus, process accordingly, repeat. Like, we knew it was more. When was that moment that you looked at food differently? And I'll start with you, Fred. Go ahead.
Again, at the time I saw Iron Chef. I mean, growing up in America, eating out of a nice steak restaurant is considered fine dining until you know even better. Yep. Now I don't always get the opportunities to eat like that, but I would tell you one of the best meals I ever had in my life. This might be heading a little off track, but I actually dined at Morimoto in Philadelphia.
Same.
And that I had the $120 omakase.
Same.
And it was probably the best meal I've ever had. It was on one of our wedding anniversaries. I took my friend along with me. He joined in that adventure with me, and my wife enjoyed the show.
yeah, man. It's totally about
I just never been through anything like that before since.
That's when your eyes were open. No, man, that is truly legendary. When Greta, so we got, hang on a minute, let me think about this. We got engaged in 2001. And so for Greta's birthday in 2003, we took a town car from a little town called Danville down to Philadelphia, into Morimoto. And I'll never forget this. So here again, Fred, you and I share it. You know, they said, hey, unfortunately, we got a little double booked. Are you okay to sit at the bar? And I'm like, I don't give a shit where we sit. We took a town car here. Let's go. And literally, as we sit down, I look up. You know where that bar is, Fred. I look across the bar, and Morimoto is right there in front of us cooking.
You were blessed.
So we did the omakase, and as my wife went to try one thing, this hand shoots across, grabs her wrist, and I hear a voice say, "No, you do here." It was Morimoto guiding her hand on what sauce to dip it in and to take it. One of the coolest guys ever. Did you get to meet him?
No, he was not there. I even asked, and he said, because at the time we went, what would that have been, like 2004, 2005? No, it was after my daughter was born, so it would have been 06 or 07. Okay. He was already well established. And he was like going all over the place. Because the original restaurant was in New York, so this was actually his second.
Right. Yeah.
But he had more than that even then, so he wasn't even attending Philadelphia as much. But no, you were actually blessed to meet 2 Iron Chefs then.
Yes, two of the final 4. And I have the pictures. I'll send it to you guys. Maybe if I feel motivated, I'll edit the video and I'll put that picture right here so everyone can see. Us, a young, much more thorough-haired me, and my wife, who looks the same as she does today, with Masaharu, and coming out from behind the pass, and just kind of hanging out, talking a little bit. It was pretty dope.
Wonderful.
But yes, I mean that restaurant in and of itself, that tasting menu. And I think we should talk tasting menus here in a bit, because tasting menus are a great way, honestly, for a great price. People hear $120 and get sticker shock, but look, you're going to try everything this dude makes on their menu, technically.
You can't put a price on an experience.
Yeah, exactly. Pay for experiences, for sure. Puff, over to you, man. Now again, I know your mom. I was fortunate enough to know your dad. And I watch your sister, like, shit post all the time about these wonderful foods she's making. I'm like, God damn it, when am I getting some sent to me, Michelle? Let's get them over here. I have to imagine for you it was a little earlier, maybe pre-Iron Chef Japan, that you realized food was that important.
Oh yeah, I mean it always has been, but in terms of culinary awakenings, I think I really hit 2 inflection points. The first was honestly watching like Good Eats and Iron Chef and realizing, wait, there's a bunch of science I can do with this. Oh, let's do this. And then a little later on in life, as I'm starting to mellow out and calm down in my old age, I've started to adapt almost like a slow food philosophy. And it's like, look, food is love. That's what you do for people. If you care about them, you cook for them.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
Good Eats was a big part of my upbringing too, so we all have a lot in common here.
Yeah. I mean, Alton Brown. I was really thrilled to see the reboot. I feel like it's fallen flat. I don't feel like it got enough wind behind its sails, and it's just kind of like,
Alton kind of got out of hand after Good Eats, though, didn't he?
He did. He got a little ego.
America and everything.
Yeah. But I mean, again,
he was a great color commentary on the show.
Exactly.
He was.
Yeah, exactly. He was. I would not disagree with that. And this is, this whole show, because I'm sure maybe by now Food Network loyalists are pissing their shorts and throwing them at me and saying, like, how could you? Oh, Iron Chef, it's still good. We're not saying it's not good. What I'm saying is y'all need to take a knee and bow your head in deference to something you might not have ever known existed. And it is this Iron Chef Japan. So we talked about origin stories, how we found it, how we connected with it. Now I want to get deep. Now I want to get real deep. I'm talking like neck deep, almost eyeballs deep in this shit. So let's rock. And I'm actually going to kind of intersperse some answers of my own because these are things I haven't answered before. So for Iron Chef Japan fans listening, thanks for tuning in and check some of this stuff out because, again, I think you're going to find it interesting. So let's tee up with the first episode you remember and the first Iron Chef that became your favorite. Like, I mean, I really should say the Iron Chef that became your favorite. So first episode you remember and your favorite Iron Chef. Go. Over to you, Fred.
All right, now this one I can talk about. I actually stepped in out of sequence. You say you started around 97. Was it on Food Network then, or did you get like the West Coast stream?
Nope, on Food Network at that point.
All right, so I stepped in around 2000. And, you know, like I said, that's when I moved in with my soon-to-be wife or whatever. Or actually, when I first met her, I moved in the next year. But anyway, I was visiting her and saw the show, and I think I actually came across it with the last, chronologically speaking, episode that was ever shown in the U.S., which would have been, it was either the 21st Century Special, which was at the very tail end, or it was the King of Iron Chefs tournament. Mm-hmm. And so I did my research, and I was like, oh, wait a second. This is like at the end, and then I'm tuning in later, I'm seeing a totally different Iron Chef Japan without the Italian guy. I'm like, what's going on here? So, of course, that led me to Iron Fans and Iron Steph's old website, if you remember her.
I do remember Iron Steph, yep. Yeah,
she was a good episode reviewer. And, yeah, I mean, that was where it all began for me, and it went from there. Are we talking about favorite Iron Chef shit?
Yeah, no. Yeah. So now, you know, based on that, you know, when you become a fan, who became your favorite over time?
Okay. Yeah, so after digging deeper and deeper, I came to realize that while Morimoto is great, and I see where they were going with that, trying to really bring it to America, I have to say no one tops the original Iron Chef Japan, the legend, the best win record on the entire show, the man that only lost 5 times. That would be Rosato Machiba, the guy in the purple. Not the purple.
The purple, the blue. Oh, damn it, Fred. Come on, man.
The purple guy we were waiting years for, and we just saw him at the end. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Machiba is the man, you know, I always used to be fascinated by the fact this guy, I always wondered if he washed his hands because he was like digging into stuff and like putting all the love into it with his bare hands and showing me a style of cuisine I had never really appreciated before because I never saw, you know, Japanese chefs cook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, Morimoto, he had American influence, but Machiba was just raw Japanese cooking. Yeah. At a gourmet level. Yeah. And the man was just so creative, so genius, and I wanted to try every single thing he made. And his record stands for itself. Like I said, I think he only lost 5 times throughout the entire 2.5 year run he was on the show. Yeah,
beyond a shadow of a doubt, and that's why I've had people ask me before, you know, why do they always have running water in a sushi restaurant? And if you notice, take your notice next time. Water is running perpetually from the faucet. It's because that's how clean a space they operate in. It's how they're trained. It's what they do. You know, best as I can tell, that's what I've identified. So yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that because again, that's something I noticed. The other thing I noticed, because I'm a planner guy, right? I have to have an agenda for the week. I have to have an agenda written out. What did he always do at the start of his battles?
He would write the menu out, and when he didn't, they were in shock and awe. He'd say, what's going on with them? Because toward the end, and I'm sure you know this, again, I consider myself a pretty good Iron Chef historian, so if I start to ramble, please shut me up.
No, hit it, man. Hit it.
But in any case, no, towards the end of his career, there was this moment where he was about to get sick, and he got like, and when he came back from getting sick after like a month and a half hiatus, I think this was like late 95, he would get really grouchy. Yeah. Like, I remember the one episode, it was umabushi, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Umabushi,
Japanese,
That's the pickled plums.
Pickled plum, another ingredient we Americans know nothing of. And the judges were criticizing it, and he was like, well, I only have 1 hour to cook this shit.
Exactly.
It's like, you're asking too much. I don't know what you're talking about. Take what I give you. And, you know, that eventually led to his retirement and departure. Yeah.
Which then obviously led to Nakamura's short stay on the show.
Well, it wasn't that short. He was there for 2 years.
Was he there 2 years? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I guess March
96 to March 98.
I just think in the tenure of the show, when I think of it, and especially, again, because we're under the filter of the Food Network lens here, they never really featured Nakamura all that terribly much. I feel like they shied away.
At the end of the run.
He did. Yeah, for sure. So,
and I remember on Iron Fans when we were all excited about that, and every single episode we would tune in to see him. But if you ask the West Coast guys who got the stream before Food Network showed it, they would tell you that he was their favorite.
Yeah. Oh,
they saw
for sure.
plenty of his stuff, but those are the big missing gaps in Food Network's run.
Yep.
They cut out like a whole year and a half that featured Nakamura.
Yep, absolutely. So speaking of favorites that, everybody knows, I know the answer to this next dude, but I'm going to let him offer it up. William, first episode you remember, and obviously to me, your favorite Iron Chef, and go.
Honestly, I could not even begin to tell you the first episode I saw because it's been so long. The only thing I remember about it was that it was Shen.
Mm-hmm.
And that man is a dynamo in the kitchen. Watching him work is just amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
Favorite Iron Chef? Oh, hands down, Morimoto-san. I mean, absolutely.
I had that wrong, dude. Shit.
I see a debate brewing.
Whoa. Now, wait a minute.
You were going with Michiba, weren't you?
No. Bullshit. I thought it was Sakai for the longest time.
Oh, no. Sakai was always my mom's favorite.
Oh, maybe that's it. Hey, Donna. That was like a, hey, baby. Wait a minute. What? God damn. No. I knew you loved Michiba. I thought it was a tie between Sakai and Michiba. You're saying Morimoto. Why? Why Morimoto? Well, I kind of know, but go ahead.
It's the whole fusion aspect, right? Sure, the stuff that Michiba make, as you pointed out, Fred, it's this beautiful, very traditional, very formal Japanese cuisine, and, well, it's beautiful. But then you've got this rogue who is not from bringing the American portions into the cuisine, but just from, to quote Xenogears here, standing tall and shaking the pillars of the heavens and saying, look, I know this is the food that we've had for centuries. Let's try and make it keep up with the times. Let's try and do something new here.
No, you're right.
And just as the show itself is introducing Japanese cooking to a wider audience, also introducing the Japanese people to new types of food.
Yeah.
There's a synergy there.
No, I get. All right.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'd follow you on that. I've got to go with first episode. Puff saying he can't remember. It's interesting you just mentioned Morimoto because honestly, for a hot second, I was thinking Battle Monkfish because I remember it being so stark and so like, holy shit, there's a big gaffing hook hanging.
Oh, the anglerfish, yeah.
Or I'm sorry, anglerfish. That's what I meant. Where like they got it's crazy, but it wasn't that. The first one was Battle Mushroom, where Morimoto did the burger in the newspaper with the mushroom caps. Everybody remember that?
Was that the porcini or the...
Porcini. That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Where he was against the Italian guy?
Or I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. Portobello, wasn't it?
Portobello. Okay.
Was it Portobello? Yeah. But anyway, he did the burger, and I remember looking and going, "Who the hell is going to eat that?" And then I saw it happen stateside, and I'm like, "What is happening here? Like this is happening." So instantly, I gravitated to it because it's like it's an inspiration to watch it, every episode because it's typically ingredients like umeboshi, Fred, that we don't typically see. Now, if I think of my favorite Iron Chef, so there's two angles I have to go with. Favorite Iron Chef ever to meet has to be Morimoto. I brought a book that was in Japanese that he had never seen before. That was on Iron Chef, and the restaurant staff had to yell at him to get back behind and start cooking again because he sat down and started reading the goddamn thing. So, like, they hurried him up to sign it, and I shook hands, I gave him a hug and everything. It was awesome. So to meet was Morimoto. to communicate with has got to be Sakai. I'm just going to be a little self-indulgent here. I had a Japanese pen pal for a long time when I was in my undergrad. Her name is Keiko. Her maiden name was Atsuji. Her married name is Keiko Week. Hi, Keiko. And she translated a letter for me, which is how I have the other two posters signed, by the way, boys. And I sent them to La Rochelle and Masa. And they both sent the posters back signed along with a bunch of swag from the place. And Sakai sent back all these pictures from the final battle and a handwritten note, which was just amazing. So I'm like, you have my heart. Like, you have my heart as of this moment, sir. Like, I can't walk away. And I just have to say, Sakai always had the creative, artistic angle. It's not because he was king of Iron Chefs. I just really appreciated the way he came at it.
Your buddy William talked about the pretty food. Sakai made the pretty food.
Sakai made the pretty food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sakai, Chiba was pretty from a Japanese standpoint, but it was very rustic, like to us Americans, where Sakai, everything he made was like art.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So let's get battle specific now. Now we talked about maybe first memory. We talked about favorite Iron Chef. Let's get battle specific. Your favorite battle of all time and why? Bill, I'm going to start with you, buddy.
Oh, wow. That's opening the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, and I mean, specials are permitted here, so let's not get too, out of sorts that it has to be an episode during a normal season. No, it could be, it could be King of Iron Chef battles. Like, I don't care.
Honestly, so I'm actually going to go with kind of a weird one here. Battle Wedgwood China.
Yes! Oh my god! I remember that one!
In the world would have the same ingredient not be something you eat.
Exactly.
That was like one of those February... Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
Wait, shit. God, who was the Iron Chef in that one?
That might have been Sakai.
Yeah.
Is that the one from... Yeah.
Yes, I'm almost positive it was because I just watched that on Pluto. Hi, Pluto. Yeah, I'm 90% certain. Please, if you got the Google machine up, take a look. I'm 90% certain that was because wasn't
the Google machine? I got the list printed out in front of me.
Okay, yeah, of course he's got that. It's good like that. But yes, I remember that battle because it was so like profound. You sat back and you went, "Wait a minute, it's about how it's served." What a profound way to put the importance on you eat with your eyes first.
Yeah. Was that the Girls Festival?
I was going to say, it might be guinea fowl, actually.
Okay, so that would have been Sakai, too.
But I remember that one. I remember where they had to use the China.
Yeah, that was Sakai. That was 1998.
Nice.
April 1998.
Nice. Yeah, I remember that. And again, I remember that because I just watched that, I don't know, about a week ago. That was an amazing, amazing battle. So, Puff...
that brings up a point. I mean, when it gets to me, I'll let him finish. Go ahead.
No. Least favorite battle, then?
Bobby Flay round 2.
And every Iron Chef Japan fan nods in approval.
Just
I don't blame
you. Had to have him come back so he could win, didn't you?
I know, but you know what? All right, I'll save the goddamn apologizing till a couple questions from now. Oh God, I know I'm in for it when I give this up. So, Fred, over to you, buddy.
That'd be a good finale.
Yeah, favorite episode, least favorite episode, and go.
Well. Yeah, that's really going around the rabbit hole, and I have to really dig it up. I can't point out my single favorite episode at this time, but I can tell you it has to be one of three things. Either one of the specials, and I did enjoy the 21st Century special, even if it was fan service to America. What you talk about the Bobby Flay comeback. Either one of those, one of the overtime battles, they were always high energy. Or, I think more than that, it's probably one of the episodes with the Shiro Kandagawa. Every time this man stepped on the set, And, you know, we're not giving the listeners who don't know any better any background on this, but I'll briefly go into it. He was like the biggest competitive rival on the show, and apparently in real life he was good friends with all the cast and the staff and the crew. And he came on like this professional wrestler with a beef.
Yep, exactly, man. They had heat. They had to go at it. They went at it several times, and then it was the it was the head shaving ceremony, right? He lost.
That was at the very end. It was at the very end.
Yep.
But throughout the entire show's run, he was there back and forth, sending chefs in to compete, coming in himself to compete. And every single time was just, he was such a character.
But didn't he win? He won his battle when he shaved his head, right?
That was in the 21st Century Battle.
Yep.
Yes,
yep.
That was at the end. Yep.
I remember
he
that.
He won before Bobby Flay. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think he only lost once. That's the thing. He was so good.
Yeah.
In fact, if I have the official Iron Chef book. I don't know if anybody here has that.
I have it signed by Morimoto, sir.
I believe you do. And if you look in the back, his is like the most expensive restaurant out of anybody.
Yeah.
He's got a restaurant on an island you got to take a boat to. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. But anyway, to get to a quick point real quick, you talk about another thing this show did that Americans can't even touch. It's just the sheer amount of money. You talk about the China. The sheer amount of money they spent on the ingredients and the appeal and the look and the China and then all the set locations and everything. It was outrageous. And it's something I don't think American food TV, we should say, not counting HBO, right? Would not even think of is spending that kind of money on something like this. But the Japanese, I think it's really a big part of their culture, cuisine, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I kind of got to wonder, because I'd always heard the number like $10,000 worth of food in the fridge off camera, but not to, completely change the subject. Seriously, how much merchandise is in Flavortown Market?
Yeah.
That's totally fair, and big up to Guy Fieri and everything he's doing. Again, this is an old anti-Guy head who got righted by some of Guy's closest friends. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Pete. Because he is truly doing God's work, and he does a hell of a job. And to that point, how much has to be in that store for every taping? It's nuts. It's nuts. It's got to be upwards of, honestly, at this point, if you consider filet is constantly there, right? Everybody who's going to drop out first round goes for filet. Assuming that's the thing. There's all these elements. It's got to be $20,000, $30,000 worth of ingredients in the store at any given time.
Okay, you're training me there. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. Again, it is a grocery store, right? So, like, these things have expiration dates.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so imagine
Tiffin
Stadium
I'm a
back
guy
in there.
who's a guy, too, so that gives me a little bit of respect for the man there.
Oh, dude.
Just knowing some of the things I've heard about Guy, I wouldn't be surprised if the stuff that doesn't get used in time gets, like, cooked and donated to charity. I mean,
without a doubt.
Dude, he rolls up with a barbecue and starts grilling for firefighters as they're fighting wildfires. I mean, that's some mad respect.
So he sounds like a hell of a humanitarian. Then.
Holy hell, yes. Yes. And
respect.
Stan, also a big shout out, Stan Hayes of Operation Barbecue Relief, also former guest of the show, good friend of Guy's. Again, he's doing the same thing. Like he mobilizes and he'll serve 20,000 meals in a day.
Awesome.
It's nuts. So like these, I forget how we got off on this tangent. Bill, it's your fault. Go.
It's totally my fault.
It is.
We were about to hear Fred's least favorite episode.
Oh, least favorite. There you go.
I was about to bring us back.
Yeah, that's right.
So, one that probably comes to mind, and this isn't no fault of, it is fault. The Food Network decided, in the very beginning of the show's run, the show was only a half hour long, up until Battle Bamboo Shoot. I think it was April 1994, and that was the first chronological episode for the longest time on Food Network. That's when it went to an hour format. And all the fans were like, we want to see, and we were all talking to some Iron fans, we want to see the early days, the half-hour battles. Well, all of a sudden, lo and behold, they brought out this rare episode from Christmas of 93, featuring the first French Iron Chef. He was only in, maybe 10 battles total through the whole show. Ishinabe. And it was a chicken battle. It was a Christmas theme. It was a half hour. But they must have went to the vaults of Fuji TV and dug out some footage, and they stretched this thing to an hour.
Yep.
And it was painful. I was like, the judging was just painful. They had one judge going for like 10 minutes repeating himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if this is what it's really like, no wonder it's exhausting for all these guys.
Exactly. The guy repeating himself for like 10 minutes has to be the Rosajin scholar.
The Rosajin scholar.
I knew it! God damn it, I knew it!
Yeah. So then I want to make this clear. Anyway.
You need to realize... No, I don't.
That has been my least favorite, but in its original format, which I have seen myself through a different venue, it's much better.
Yeah.
You know, even if in those early days the show really didn't have the same flair that we've come to know and love, but
for sure,
you know, everything starts somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you got to start somewhere. Great point. So let's acknowledge the red-headed elephant in the room, being Flay. You know, obviously we see Flay all over the place. We know why we know him as Iron Chef fans. Has Flay formally redeemed himself, and why?
I don't know what he's up. Yeah. Did you want to start? Go ahead.
Either of you tee it up.
I mean, like, that's a tough one.
Listen to us groan. Nobody wants to answer this in the Iron Chef fan community.
I'll answer it. I'm going to say I have an answer, but I'll let Bill go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak anything about the man personally.
Sure.
Just not going to do it.
Sure.
From a purely culinary standpoint, I have come around to begrudgingly respect the man over the last couple of years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he is definitely good at what he does. I personally still don't like him as an individual, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
He's a good cook. I will say it. He is a good cook.
He's a good cook.
Say, Richmond, Virginia has a barbecue joint that whooped his butt. So
Nice.
So, I mean, I will say from my end that I don't know what the man's up to now. And, when I saw him flipping the cutting board, jumping on the table, all that stuff, I was like, even then, I was like, you ass. You're just insulting, and you're really making us look bad every year. Which sometimes is not hard to do. But in any case, and then I found out after the fact that he actually, through this whole thing, was good friends with Morimoto, and he apologized for the event, and they've, like, become really close ever since. And then I, recognized, he's an arrogant somebody. But I've heard he, too, is a humanitarian. So I'm like, God, forget it. I heard that Flay does a lot for the community, too, and through his restaurants and venues. And he makes some pretty good-looking food. I mean,
yeah.
Look at the art, not the man himself. And sometimes it's hard to overlook personalities.
Exactly. And I mean, for all of us in the ICJ community, we know the jump up on the cutting board moment, and that's where the hatred, that's where the vitriol began. But again, you got to keep in mind, I think at that time he was what, 28, maybe. Like, he was young. He was young enough to be half a dick, and it's like, ugh, really, dude? And now... What's that?
But is that an excuse, though?
No, I don't think so. Bill, what are you saying?
Around.
Yeah.
So have you watched Food Star at all the past couple seasons?
No, I don't. I don't watch that. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But there was a competitor a couple seasons ago. First name's Matthew. I can't remember anything else about his name. He was really tall, really skinny, really like all the bad stereotypes about Gen Z, talking about #Bolo instead of making a bolognese. And in a lot of ways, he's actually very similar to a young Flay. He's got that just cocksure arrogance, right? And it's like, he did make good food, but the way he interacted with everyone else around him was just like, dude.
You know how I would counter that, though? And this is an Iron Chef reference. Was Kobe ever like that?
Fair enough.
No, hell no.
Yep, and that just shows the difference in our culture, right?
Exactly.
I'm not putting down America or anything like that, but I'm just saying that how much more seriously they seem to take it over there.
Absolutely. No. That makes total sense. So, from just an attitudinal perspective, like, there is that. And watching Flay, for example, evolve into, be Bobby Flay, like, he almost offered that up. I believe there's a bit of penance in that show where he wants to show the fallibility of his craft. And that I've struggled with that. I'm like, why do I like watching this now? Why do I like, calling up people from Beat Bobby Flay and talking to them about their experience? It's because it's a really kind of humanizing experience for them. And for Bobby in turn. So like I'm with the both of you. I'm like, yeah, you know what? He's done right. He's done right. I think he gets it. Now, he was a flash in the pan, but one staying presence, if you will, in the landscape of ICJ was, and forever shall be Hiroyuki Sakai, the king of Iron Chefs, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Let's throw it out here right now, right here. Obviously, he goes on to beat Alain Passard in the final battle in Kitchen Stadium. Did he deserve the W over Kenichi, and why?
Yeah, there's a story about the whole Passard battle that Passard actually kind of gave him a handicap and kind of let him win because he didn't want the show to go down in history as the challenger winning the very last battle. That's what I've heard.
Really?
In multiple sources. Yeah. Now, don't put me in the gossip circle, but I had read that. That out of a token of respect and honor, that he did not think Sakai should lose. And I gotta go back and watch the battle. I don't remember how.
Well, shit. Now I'm gonna go back and watch it. I didn't hear anything to that end, but I didn't hear anything against that end. So what do I know?
But then people would turn around and counters like, yeah, a man who's that serious about his craft is not going to do that. So you could take it both ways. But did he deserve to win over Chen? I haven't seen that battle in a long time. But throughout the show's run, I know he was the better chef, in my opinion.
I think so too. I think Chen was more utilitarian. Sakai was more the artisan, in my opinion. Bill, what do you got?
I'd say he probably did. I mean, look, I love Chen, but Sakai has been there since day one.
Almost. Chen
Almost.
has been there since day one, actually.
Oh, you're right.
Almost.
I'm sorry. There was a very short-lived first Iron
Goddamn rookie. What the hell? All right, don't invite Bill back. Yeah. We heard it here. I'm joking. I'm joking. Jesus Christ, calm down.
That's a serious matter, sir.
I know, right? Jesus. Fucking angry people. No. I mean, so again, I think we all kind of get it. I think we all kind of agree. He was the right guy for the gig. And again, if I show you, I'll take a close up picture, and maybe again, if I get motivated in the after edit, I'll put up the picture of the signed Sakai poster. He did it in like gold paint marker. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm like, damn, man, you didn't have to even send this back to me. You could have been like, who's this American prick? Throw it in the trash. Let's keep cooking. But he sends it back with all this stuff. So kudos. So one last question to this end, to the ICJ end. We've all heard the reboot rumors at this point, right? There's going to be a new Iron Chef show, late 22, early 23, right? Netflix?
Yes.
Do we know anything about the details? What do we think? What do we hope?
I can tell you what I know, and this is through the one existing forum that's still on the net for Iron Chef.
Right.
It's going to be 8 episodes long. It's supposed to be quote-unquote styled under the whole Iron Chef Japanese, but so was Iron Chef America, right? Mm-hmm. There's going to be 5 Iron Chefs, and at the end, they're going to crown a king. Something like that.
Jesus, so they're hitting fast forward on an original format.
It's like a tournament.
Jesus Christ.
That's why it's only 8 episodes.
It's not even worth it. Why fucking bother at this point? Don't do that.
But I should note also, and Sean, I don't know if you know this or not, but the actual Iron Chef Japan did reboot itself.
Yeah, well, yes, I do know. Actually, would have been 2013,
2012 or so.
2012 or 13. Yeah. Because Morimoto was on set, and it looked all different, all like gold and black themed.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't do it. Stop. It's like when everybody wants to reboot, hey, let's make another X movie that had already been made.
You know what the missing link is? And I'll tell you what the missing link is.
Originality? I don't know.
Kaga.
Doesn't have Sherman.
Yeah, exactly. You need somebody who can sell a car and host a food show.
And play Les Miserables.
Well, goddamn right.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
That's it.
This is where you know we got the real fans here, kids. Back off. So, okay, so we're hopeless. Great, fantastic. Hey, boys, I know it's getting...
A lifeline there, though.
What's that?
If you're worried about the Iron Chef reboot on Netflix, there's a little anime out there called Food Wars.
Dude, I've watched every episode every season. Jesus Christ, don't even do that to me. I have watched it. I've read the manga. I'm there. I've been there. I love it. I think it's amazing. And if you watch the anime, kids, first of all, the food animations are amazing. I love them. With that said...
my daughter has a Crunchyroll subscription. I'm going to tune into this.
Dude, you will binge...
It's on Hulu, too, I think.
Oh, it is on Hulu, you're right.
Legit, no kidding. After binging the first season of that, I found myself sitting down making the things that were on the show. So I've made Steak Chapelaine.
Yep.
And it's amazing.
Huh.
So here, spoiler, quick, Bill. There is a cookbook. It's in Japanese only, but there is a cookbook from Food Wars.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get that.
I almost ordered it, and Chaz, my middle, wanted to get it, and I'm like, dude, it's in Japanese. I would have to send it to Keiko. She'd have to translate it, and I'm not gonna do that to her. But there is a cookbook out there. It truly, there's 3 seasons, Bill.
I think so now.
3 seasons, yeah.
It's called Food Wars.
Food Wars. It is truly.
I'll let you know, man. The first couple episodes are a little over the top because what you got to understand is the show is made by a production company that's most well known for making hentai.
Yes, yeah. So wait a minute.
They were approached by a cultural committee that said, "Hey, we want to get kids interested in cooking."
There's no tentacles for noodles, is it?
No, there's not tentacles, but this is what I was trying to get to before. Here's the thing. When they taste something that they really like, their clothes kind of disappear.
Explode.
Yeah, they explode. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Jesus Christ, are we running the gamut here tonight, kids? So, boys, it's getting late. I want to ask just a couple afters before we go, because I think they'll be so much fun with 3 guys who share so much in common with regards to an adoration of this show. If we are all cooking together and one of us gets control of Pandora or Amazon Music or whatever, Bill, I'm going to start with you. What are we listening to when we're cooking?
Oh, there's a toss-up there. On one hand, I'm going to go with just a chill hop love stream.
Yep.
And on the other hand, I'm going to throw on the recently released orchestral arrangement of the Chrono Trigger soundtrack.
Goddamn right.
Oh,
yes. See, listen to this! God damn it! That's why we all get along. Yes. Yes. Fred, what do you got, buddy? Hit me with it. Hit me with a funk bomb.
You talking about me?
Yep.
Well, I don't know how you can even think of anything else other than the Backdraft soundtrack.
Well, okay. Never mind. I'm done. I'll stop talking. I'm sorry.
Mic drop.
I quit. I'm done. Which, by the way, Pluto TV, if you're listening, the one complaint I have is that you've removed the Backdraft soundtrack from the music.
Oh, yeah, the rights.
Yeah, it's rights. I get it, guys. But
when it was on the cooking channel, that was a problem, too.
I'll help out. I'll do I'll crowdsource some funds. Come on, man. You can't have ICJ without the Backdraft soundtrack. Anyway, that's the music question. Fred, over to you. I'm going to strand you on a deserted island with only 3 foods or food type items with you. Inexhaustible supply through the power of imagination. What would they be and why?
Well, that's a trick question because a lot of things I want to try I haven't tried yet.
Okay. But those that you've tried...
Can of Spam.
Mm-hmm.
Don't laugh at that. Hawaiians make gourmet food out of that.
Dude, and it doesn't go bad ever.
Some pan-seared foie gras. I've only had it once in my life, but it was memorable.
Love it.
And probably some good quality tuna.
Love it. Love it. How about you, Bill?
Shawarma.
Love it.
Pierogi.
Love it.
And I gotta have my pizza.
Love it. Goddamn.
Nothing wrong with that.
I love the fact that world-class chefs take half an hour to answer this. You guys are like, nah, I got this shit. This is easy. Damn, I mean that's a pretty limiting. All right, so boys, I'm gonna put you head to head here in an ICJ style battle, quick verbal battle, if you will, between two esteemed fans and guests. I'm gonna buy you some time, and the secret ingredient is shrimp. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit, start thinking about one dish only, that you would compose out of everything in Kitchen Stadium with shrimp, to feature shrimp, to make it the centerpiece, to make it the featured guest of the dish. What would it be and why? And I'm really like slowing down, like, what would it be and why? Bill, I'm going to put you in the hot seat first. Go.
I don't really cook shrimp, so I am going to go with likely a curry. Rice noodles, nice, good, coconutty, spicy broth, shrimp in several forms, chunked up, mixed throughout. Yeah, that's my answer there. A good shrimp curry.
It's like a good shrimp curry. All right, Fred, over to you.
Well, in the true vein of Irish chef, I would say that's not avant-garde enough.
Oh, listen to this shit. Don't start kicking sand at each other.
Love, sir. If we're going to get wild and crazy, I guess I got to whip out the ice cream machine.
Oh, stop it! No!
But no, all joking aside, they did that plenty on that show.
I know, right?
We didn't touch on that. The ice cream was everything.
It was everything.
And it was more fail than hit.
Yo,
in any case, no, I think what I would do, I would write, and we didn't have to, that's what shit. Let's just assume it's just your basic everyday, shrimp that you would use for scampi. I would grind it up, reconstitute it as some sort of a patty, bread it somehow, maybe grill it, and serve it as a sandwich with some garlic aioli.
Love it. Love it. So almost like a shrimp patty / burg.
Yeah.
Love it.
Where have you seen that before?
Love it. Plenty of places, man. Plenty of places.
There's your Marylander leaking out, though. You've taken a crab cake and remade it with shrimp.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Tomatoes, some garlic aioli, put it on some grilled sourdough or something.
That's it. That's all you need, man. That's all
the
you
curry
need.
Does sound awesome. I ain't gonna lie.
That's right. That's right. Hey, boys, I'm going to ask you, again, the inspiration for the show was Melanie Denea's My Last Supper. It's a wonderful coffee table book, 50 world-famous chefs. She takes one picture of each, asks them the same question. If you're thinking of the Anthony Bourdain picture where he's got a beef femur between his legs and nothing else on, she's the one that took that picture. So she asks them a series of questions, all centered around your tickets getting punched tomorrow. What's your last meal today? What are you eating? What are you drinking? Who's there? What music are you listening to? So, Fred, I'm going to kick it over to you. Last meal. Go.
What music am I listening to?
Yep.
Oh, my God. Man, I'm so variable. My music, I listen everything from musicals like Rent and Les Mis to TLC to Hamilton over to Ariana Grande. I mean, I listen to everything.
Okay.
But probably Wu-Tang Clan will be on the speaker.
Woo. All right. Feel that?
That's it. The first Wu-Tang Clan album. That's a special place in my heart. What would my last meal be?
Yep.
God. I don't know. I might go down Bill's Road and just say a good pizza, but knowing that I could spend anything I want, I'd probably get the highest quality seared tuna or steak and just do it up with all the fixings and
love it.
Get a repeat.
Love it.
But I'd have to give a lot more thought to really give my true answer because that's a hard one.
Sure.
So much good stuff out there.
Yep. Beverage of choice and guests.
My beverage of choice. My favorite beer might be a Belgian ale called Leffe.
You got it. Yep.
So I don't know if you've had that.
I have.
It's delicious. That would probably be pretty much goes with everything. I would take that. And did you say guests?
Yep.
Oh, if it's my last meal, I'd have to have my wife and kid there.
Yep.
I mean,
got it.
Beyond that.
Got it. Yeah, and honestly, as every episode typically does, it makes me look more of an asshole when my wife asks me, what would I do? I gave my meal, I gave my drinks, and she said, well, who would be there? I said, nobody else but me. And now, and to be fair, I gave a reasonable explanation. I said, look, it's a heavy affair. I came into this world alone. I want to leave it alone. And, she literally, she kind of looked at me. She's like, asshole. like without saying it on mic, because obviously we were on a hot mic, and I'm like, wait a minute, wow, that does kind of sound a little impersonal. So I kind of step back on that and would say my family as well. So thank you for the course correction, sir. Bill, talk to me, buddy. Last meal.
Oh, I'm a huge breakfast fan, so that last meal is not going to be a full English, but there's going to be bacon and ham and eggs, buttermilk biscuits, and just the best butter we can find, unsalted.
Yes.
To drink, my ticket's getting punched tomorrow. Oh, there's a Glenfiddich out there that I think is 50 years old and goes for several $1,000 a bottle.
Yeah.
Give me some of that.
No more Rumple Mints and Dr. Pepper, Bill?
What? That was Black House and Dr. Pepper.
Or shit, sorry. God damn it. Yes, Black House. That's what I meant. Damn it.
That's almost worthy of an Oscar slap.
Oh, God. I should probably be thrown out of the Academy for that shit. That one time in 2018 when this show went across the desk of the Beard House, I just got that pulled back. So there you go. God damn it. Oh.
In terms of people I would have there with me, it's going to be a small gathering. Sean, you're obviously going to be there.
Goddamn right.
The other Sean.
Yep.
I kind of agree with you, though. I don't know if I would want the wife and kid there because I don't know if I could do it, and I wouldn't want them to see me like that.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I think that's where I went to mentally. I'm like, God, could I? And
I don't think that sounds unselfish for the record.
I don't know if it does or it doesn't. So
no, I meant to say selfish. I don't think that sounds selfish.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird though, right? Because eating is such a personal experience, right? And that's why we come to this fandom and we feel this vibe where we can be really open. Like, how often do you open up and say, I'm a 45-year-old who still watches anime and reads manga? Not a lot of people, but here I am on a fucking show apparently admitting it.
I know a few.
yeah, but I'm saying like it's not. I don't know, man. It's not common. So like I don't know. It's interesting what a unique, intimate experience it is to be part of. Not even a fandom, but like just a group that appreciates food in such a unique way. So I don't know. Maybe that's it. So 50-year Glenfiddich and breakfast, Bill. Jesus Christ, are you a train wreck? I kind of love it in a weird way though.
Well, I look at it like, all of life is, the best thing about life is experiences, and food gives you your most memorable experiences, I think. Yeah. Along with family and other key moments. But, I mean, can you remember the first time you tried something? You can never go back to that first time.
Yep. Yeah, man. And it's funny you say that because transitioning to the outro here, last question. Bill, what's food to you in one word?
Love. I stole my answer.
How about you, Fred?
He stole my answer.
That's it. That's fine. You both say it. And I love that because that's actually what I've said. And so to take it back, to take it full circle, this is why we all come together around a TV show. And what I found, this is 9 years now, going on 9 years in this business of digital food journalism. I think the one thing I found about being so centered around Top Chef and then, now more the Bobby Flay crowd, more the Guy Fieri crowd, is that we all have a similar striking vein between all of us. And it is that, like, we know that when we feed somebody, when we offer it to somebody, we know we're offering love from us because that's the first thing you get. We're all parents. The first thing you do when you come into the world is attached to your mother and love that. And so why should every single meal not be any less impactful? So love, I think, is a fair answer, a square answer, and an answer the three of us share together. Boys, Fred Fingerbinder, Bill Puff Kokolis, I really appreciate you being here. I know it's a late show. I know we all have shit to do tomorrow, but I would like to think that this is honestly the beginning of something potentially very magical, and I hope to do it again soon.
Oh, my pleasure.
Absolutely.
It has been a hoot, my friend. Next time we'll have to bust out the hot wings and the video cameras.
Let's do that. Ladies and gentlemen, This has been episode number 186 of the Course Grind Podcast, an ode to Iron Chef Japan, courtesy of the fine folks at Pluto TV. Be sure to check out the Pluto TV app. And it's a channel in the 600s. I don't have it handy. But it is a 24/7 streaming channel of Iron Chef Japan goodness, which just cannot be denied. So Pluto TV, on your smart TV, on your phone, on your iPad, on your goddamn abacus, if you know what's good for you. Our producer, as always this evening, has been the lovely, voluptuous Johnny Leland Robinson, a.k.a. the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. Be sure to check out all his cinematic, post-libertarian pirate party happenings. Next episode is going to be number 187. You will not want to miss it. Stay tuned.